Well, this is the first time running in 4 years, and it's not running very good. I've got my fingers crossed, my toes crossed and everything. Harley wants to take it to the prom, and it's not working very good. We're just going to do this little video and tell you a little bit about it, and so on and so forth. It's not working very good. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but she wants to take it to the prom, and that's where it's at. I was going to lower it down for you, but even forgot about that. Wow. So this is the Royal Respect. This is the car we got from Jim. Jim sold this car to us for $1,000, I think it was. I'm not sure. It's been 4 years ago. And this is the first time it's been running in 4 years. It's been setting. I think she got some bad gas in her or whatever it's got going on. She's flooding bad. We were just back there and we tried to start it, and it didn't want to start there for a minute, but I held her down and got it started. Carburetor cars are a little bit different. When you get them flooded, you can hold them down hard to the floor and they'll take off. But this thing has got air ride. This thing was a two-door. This was a two-door with a humpback on the back. We had to get this ready for a car show that we went to. I think this was the very first car, the very first episode. Dennis, the man that bought the car in the show, has passed. God rest his heart. He was a good person. But Harley wants to take this car to the show. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it, I guess. My brain is concentrating on how it's working, but yet I'm going to talk about it. Jolene looks amazing today, as always. What we did is we cut the roof off. We cut the back of it all off, and we used this part of the back roof, the back window obviously. This is the top of the door. We welded the top of the door on the car to match up to the back window. The back window had this section going on it, so we had to weld the top of the door on the car to make it match up with this. The top of the doors have been trimmed off. You can see it's trimmed off here. This car has been sectioned. We took 3 inches off the bottom of the car. Instead of sectioning it in the middle, I sectioned it at the bottom. So we took 3 inches off the bottom of the cowl, moved the fenders up on the side of the cowl, or up on the side of the fender here on the cowl part. We just shortened this off too, we took the 3 inches off the bottom, moved the fenders up. As you can tell, this here is exhaust pipe coming around here. Don't know if you know that or not. This is exhaust pipe running down through here. You can imagine how strong that is. That's very strong. An exhaust pipe that runs all the way around, comes up this side and runs to this side. Piece of exhaust pipe coming through here. The exhaust pipe went all the way across the back, which gave me a nice place to lay the roof on. If you watched me do the 40, you'll know that that's how I did it. I did it on the 40. When I made that into a coupe, that was a two-door. This was a two-door. We got a piece of exhaust pipe going over here. There's another piece of exhaust pipe running through here. Nice piece, another piece running over there. This is a Volkswagen hood that we made into a trunk lid. It just turned out, it was just kind of the right flavor, the right shape. The fenders, I think we're still pumping gas here for some reason. That's why it got hydrolocked probably. The fenders went in this way. Jolene decided that she liked them this way, so that's what happened. We ended up cutting the fenders coming out this way. The fenders have been widened. We widened them out a bit on either side. It kind of looks like a butterfly in the back, does it not? It has a 351 Windsor. No, it's got a 351 out of a 90s van. It has a roller engine in it. I'll show you that here in a second. You can tell this is exhaust pipe. We welded the fenders on the quarter panels. This is exhaust pipe going from fender to fender, which was bent like this, bang, bang, on the floor, on the ground. The front fenders have been welded on. Trying to remember, it's been a while. It's got the original grill in it. We didn't have the budget to do anything other than what we did. That's the Bad Chad flexible chrome on that grill. It looks fantastic. We have air ride suspension in it. We put I think it's, not sure what it is. It's a rack and pinion front end. It's airbag. It goes up and down, obviously. You can see there. It's got aluminum rad in it. We'll open the hood up on it. It's got a 351 Windsor. No, not 351 Windsor, excuse my licorice. 351. It's a roller engine, I know that. It revs up fast. We painted it up the best we could. This has been 4 years ago. It's got a I Did It steering column. Oil sticks hanging out. It's got a two-speed power glide two-speed automatic transmission. It's an older transmission we had on a car that was here in the door yard. We pulled that transmission out. All the glass is safety glass. It was cut by Smith's Auto Glass. We got bear claw latches in it. We put bear claw latches in there. The floor was all done with 3/4 inch plywood. But as you can imagine, we could have put metal in it, that's for sure, but I wanted that look of the wood. We have square stock going there. Then we welded a piece of 2-inch flat on the bottom of that, so that allows this wood to set on top of that. So you got a 3/4 inch plywood, plus you got this square stock, and then you got a 2-inch flat, so that sits on there. Every piece kind of sits in its place. I'm nervous for Harley. I'm nervous for Harley just because it's not working that well. Let's open the trunk lid here. This is a Volkswagen trunk lid. This is a Volkswagen hood. I made a latch down here. It's got a pin in it, so I just unpin it. Me and Jolene took the time to make it's kind of dirty, but me and Jolene took the time to make the gas tank look like a piece of luggage at one time. It was kind of glued on there nice. You could really tell when it was clean. You can see things are getting mold. We had to clean it up a little bit. That's what the back of it looks like. I painted this thing on a picnic table. It was painted on a picnic table. The original windows in the back. Yeah, you can see that. I don't know what else to say about it. The hood, all the chrome was taken off the hood. This was the original hood with this chrome on it. We just took it off. It left it room for it to breathe a little better. We have no bumpers on it, obviously. Those are just Lancer hubcaps with a cone put on them. That's very basic for a hubcap. We painted it royal blue. That's why we called it Royal Respect. So if you can picture it, the floor of this car was all built exactly like the 40 coupe that we've done. And we were making like the Hot Wheels car. The floor was all built exactly like that. But we went one step further and we put flat bar under every square stock that we made, so we could lie the wood inside of it, so it makes it extra strong. So if I took the wood out, there's more metal in the bottom of that car than the 40. And there's just as much work or more work to make that floor work as it would be to make a metal floor. I mean, instead of taking a piece of metal over and cutting it that shape and putting a bead in it, we had to weld a flat stock on the bottom of the square stock for the wood to set on, plus we had to make the pattern for the wood to fit in where the metal would go. So it's the exact same process, probably maybe a little bit more work for getting the stain on and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to see if it'll start. Grr, I'm nervous. It's not running that well. I'm not sure what's going on. Not sure what's going on. making me happy. There's the air ride for you. Sits on the ground. All the compressors in the back. Got that opened up right now. See what's going on. I'm sure hoping that Harley's boyfriend knows how to drive with 2 feet. Well, there it is in a handbag. I'm nervous as a grasshopper in a chicken house for them. I know that. I don't want anything to go wrong. But it's been setting for 4 years. I can't expect much more, I guess. But that's what she is right there. That's our video for today. We're trying to get this thing ready, and I might want to jack her up some more before I move her, eh? But that's what happens when you set cars around and you don't do anything with them. We haven't done anything with it. We got a bunch of more cars that we have not done anything with, and this one here we picked today because we're thinking about if we got any rain, she would be safe, and that's where we're at. This little trick right here, I want to show you this little trick right here. When it comes to sectioning a car, most people will cut them in the middle or whatever. When it comes to sectioning a car, I like to take it off the bottom. The reason being is it just seems to be a little bit easier than welding down through the middle of your door and welding through your middle of your quarter panel, all through your cowl and all that sort of stuff. This little trick I want to show. If you come over here, if you look at this door, what I did is I just cut the door off, turned it upside upside down, and then welded it on flat. There's no lip on the bottom of the door, there's no nothing. I just cut the door off the bottom and welded it on flat. Made the shape on the front of it like it's supposed to be, and that's the way I did it. This is all square stock down in here with a piece of exhaust pipe. We cleaned most turds out of this thing, and metal coming down and coming over and welded onto the exhaust pipe exactly like Jolene did on the 40. Yeah. Also, there was a budget on every car, and the budget was not to be gone over, and we kept it on budget, every car. If I told you the budget, you would cringe, because you just would. We had to do it with low cost. That means everything we had to do with the car, we had to, when we put a motor in it, we couldn't go get a brand new motor and a brand new transmission. Budget would have been over. We had to build it from what we had, like we always do, like I always do. We got the motor out of a van. We got the transmission out of a car that was sitting in the dooryard. The car was bought for $1,000 from Jimbo. All the frame in that car is all the original frame. We just modified it. Where we spent the money was the rim, or the tires, and the air ride, and the front suspension. That's basically where the money was spent. There was no other money spent in that other than hard labor and time and effort. And there she sits, royal respect. Geez, keep your fingers crossed, everybody, for Harley Warley and her date, that everything goes well and they're able to make it through the little parade they have. That's basically all that's got to happen, and then the car's going back away, because you know, I'm not driving it right now. I'm not doing anything with it. I'm kind of just, I suppose I could be driving it, I suppose. Jolene did get it registered and got it insured, and we might drive it, maybe get the bugs out of it. Do you want to take it for a spin? Do you want to go up the road? Let's go up the road. Got to get the gate. That's probably not a good car. I'd be driving on hills and stuff. Probably rip the fenders off it. Would be nice to take it for a little drive, though, wouldn't it? Just to make sure everything's working right. Yeah. Everything's clean underneath. It's got a good dual exhaust on it. It's got good power. It's got good power. The motor's at an 89 or a 90 van roller motor. Just looking at it. She's a looker, that's for sure. She's a looker. And when you watch Bad Chad Customs, I don't know if you know it or not, but when we built the car, we took it to Moncton Nationals, and the car had to be built to go there, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, we had a certain time limit. A lot of people give Jolene flack about, they don't like to hear about the time limits and all that sort of stuff, but they don't change car shows for us getting a car done. We had to have the car done for that amount of time, and that's what we did. That's what we did. We had to have it there, and that's what happened. And it's quite a looker. It's quite a looker. Gene got to see the car. We trailered it there. We drove it around there. We drove it a couple times. When you see it going on the show and it's getting lowered, you see it being lowered. We're on the mountain, up on the look off, and we're up on looking over, and we lower it down. That's a nice scene. I like that scene. We drive on the dikes all the time. We drove on the dikes over there with the car it shows at. That was done with a camera in the sky. And I'm very proud of that car. Very proud of that car. And the reason I'm proud of it is because of the amount of work that was done to make that car in 35 days. Like, it's quite something if you think about it. We filmed for, I don't know, 14 months. And we built 14 cars, and it basically adds up to 35 days a car. Some took a little more, some took a little less, but on the average, that's what it comes to. So if you think you can take a car like the 40 that's in there, that we did here on the Hot Wheels car, if you can take a car like that, like a two-door, and turn it into that with air ride, and drive it to a car show that you have to be there. If you don't be there, well, you don't make the show. If you can do that, congratulations. You deserve royal respect. And basically that's why we called it that, is because the way it come out, and the time it took to do it, the way it looks. All right, everybody, I'm kind of got butterflies in my stomach right now, and the reason being is I want the car to work good for her to do her prom, and it's pretty hard for me to go over the car to make sure everything's working right when the prom is today. I mean, let's face it, I haven't got the facility to be putting it in the air and going through everything to make sure it works for one day, and that's where we're at. Ugh. What do you think, baby? Take one more walk around it? Or you got enough of it? You got enough of it, she says. All right, everybody, there's royal respect. All in the handbag. Have a good one, and keep your fingers crossed.